It is the 41st millennium. Mankind battles for survival across the universe, besieged on all fronts by the heretic, the mutant, and the alien. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. One faction of Space Marines stands amidst the chaos, the mightiest of the Emperor's warriors, and a beacon of light in the darkness. This legion, the 9th Legion of Adeptus Astartes, the Blood Angels.
Okay, good evening. Hopefully you hear me, you don't hear an echo. How's everybody? Hope you're all well. Hope you had a good Christmas. Haven't seen you guys in a few days. I don't think I've streamed since the 23rd, which is one day away from being a week, huh? Crazy. Time's flown. Time has flown. Good evening, everybody. Terrence, Eternal Crusader. Michael, nice to see everybody. Yes, love. You come for the baby monitor. Cool. I let her watch the iPad because she wasn't going to sleep. Okay, I'll keep an eye out. I'll keep a listen out for you. Sorry, kids are just 50-50 if they're sleeping. They've had too much chocolate today, isn't that? Like first world problems of having kids when I don't want to say we're lazy parents, but hey, my wife's going to join us on New Year's night, by the way. I think she's going to play World of Warcraft or something while I live stream to you guys and have some drinks, because last 3 years now I think I've left my wife on her own at Hogmanay, and I was like, well, I'm just going to be up here probably streaming, so 2 nights from now, I guess, when we go live, my wife will probably be in the room. She'll be playing World of Warcraft. I'm sure she'll say something funny at some point. She's very brutally honest, my wife. So I'm sure she'll say something wildly inappropriate, or like, why do you spend all this time on the models, or something like that. Sorry, I'm just cleaning my magnifying glass before I get started. This is the one disadvantage of streaming and painting with a magnifying glass, is like every time I speak, any droplets of like saliva come out, they go straight onto my magnifying glass and it gets filthy. So, figured I'd work with these heavy interceptors tonight. What do I call them? Interceptors? No, heavy. Oh, I forgot what the guys even called. Heavy intercessors. I must admit that I haven't done anything Warhammer, I think, since the 23rd. Since I was last here painting these guys 3 or 4 nights ago. I logged on Christmas Day hoping for a new Blood Angels reveal. I saw it was Belial for the Dark Angels. I was very disappointed. I was like, meh. Why? I guess if you're a Dark Angels fan, cool. Belial gets an updated Terminator set. But I was really hoping to see some Blood Angels on Christmas Day. So, and also today they announced that the winner of this year's model of the year was the Lion, and second model of the year was Angron. Dante made it into the top 10, but he didn't get anywhere, so that's very sad, isn't it? Mike says I once tried to get my partner on stream when I was doing gaming streams, but she refused to show her face. Yeah, I mean, my wife might show her face. My wife was asking me if I'd like to play some Heroes of the Storm. That was like the game that we used to play together a lot before we had kids. And my wife really hasn't gamed in like... We were on Heroes of the Storm, we played one game like 2 nights ago, I think. And I said, go into your profile. Her last time she played Heroes of the Storm was 5 years ago.
I have awoken.
Turn says... Sanguiner use ability turn 1 ability. Does it overwrite the core rules? I don't believe it does. I think if the Sanguiner wants to deep strike, I believe he has to... he can't use his heroic intervention strat until turn 2. I'm like 99% sure of that. I don't really play the Sanguiner myself, Terrence, but I think that the consensus within the community is that you can't use it in turn 1. And I believe that's just the sort of standard, nothing can arrive from Deep Strike in turn 1 mission rules that would kind of overwrite his ability to get into. Hello, Highland Phoenix. Hope you had a good Christmas. How are you, buddy? Thank you so much for being a member for 18 months, Terrence. People like you, people like you that have supported the channel for 18 months. Honestly, you've changed my life. You've done so much for me. I can't thank you enough. So, while my videos may help you, you guys have helped me so much. So thank you, Terrence, so much for being a member for 18 months. Thank you, everyone that's got a green name. It's the season of telling people thank you. It's the season of being thankful. I'm very thankful for how well the channel has done in the last year again. We got 2,000 new members this year, 2,000 new subscribers, sorry, and did like 500,000 views again. So crazy! Thank you so much for the support. We'll be here all through next year for sure. I'm gonna try and get a game of boarding actions next year. I really wanted to play it this year. I guess time has got away from me. Definitely gonna try and set up a game of boarding actions next year, using the new 10th edition rule set, because I commissioned all the terrain. Mike knows about that terrain. He painted it for me. I spent like $500 getting that terrain ready, and I haven't used it once. So I really need to get the boarding actions terrain. Otherwise, it'd just be the equivalent of throwing $500 down the toilet. So this year, if I don't get a game of boarding actions on the channel, then I've failed as a content creator, I guess. Mercenary Q says, I pivoted to Votan until we get a codex. Because when I play my Marines, it's just a generic army. I don't know if I feel like it's a generic army. I can understand the frustration behind waiting for a codex. The other thing, though, is if you get the codex too early in the edition, there's a very fine line. You don't want it too early, you don't want it too late. I really hope in the future, someday, they maybe get round to releasing all the codexes within the first year of an edition. That would be ideal for me, where no one's waiting for it for ages. Caslin, hello, how are you? Dwayne says hello. Lots of people showing up tonight. How are you guys? Any of you doing any hobby? Any of you got any hobby over the Christmas period? Any of you, did anyone get some Warhammer for Christmas? That's the thing that I always think. It's like everybody that knows me knows that like Warhammer would be the easiest present in the world to buy. But I didn't get any Warhammer for Christmas. I got some socks. I got some handkerchiefs. And I got a DVD that I really wanted. Or not, well, I mean, I call it a DVD. It was a Ultra HD 4K, all the bells and whistles, but essentially a DVD that I really wanted. That was my 3 presents, I think I got. Oh, and I got some chocolates. We don't really do presents for the adults in my family, so it's fine. I'm not really worried. Kids got a lot. Kids had a great Christmas. So, yeah. I'm going to continue working on these heavy intercessors. I'd like to get these finished, hopefully, before I go back to work on like the 8th of January. That's my plan. They're probably like 3 or 4 paint sessions away. I might get them done, I might not. But regardless, it means that I should be able to finish a unit in January. So that'll be a good start to the year. 1 unit finished in January, then move on. I'm at the point with these guys where I'm basically putting the second coat of a lot of the colours down. There's some colours, yeah, I would say like, there's some colours that, some parts of the model that might still be just like grey and need painting, but for the most part, a lot of the model has at least 1 coat, like all the blacks being given a single coat, so I'm just giving everything a second coat. 2 thin coats, they always tell you to do that, don't they? My wife got me a Repulsor Executioner. Michael, I'm glad to hear it, Michael. Thanks so much for the 10 gifted subs in the last stream, Michael, by the way. That sort of made that stream for me, like I was just super chuffed after that stream, so thank you. I'm glad to hear you got an Executioner. I'm running an Executioner in my current list. I'm thinking I might continue it. I'm thinking I might do a small tweak to change it into a Land Raider. But at the moment, I've been running the Executioner, I think 3 games now. I think I've won all the games I've played it in, or maybe did I lose 1 game by like a couple of points? Can't quite remember. I think maybe I lost 1 game by like 1 point or something in the final turn. Something like that. Highland Phoenix got the Dune board game by Gale Force 9, and then I bought myself the expansions for it. Tell me if it's good, Highland, because I love the original Dune. And I don't know if I love the original Dune movie that much, but I did love the mini-series that they did on like HBO, I think like 20 years ago, and I do love the Dune book, and I liked the video games. I had a few of the old video games, like I think Dune 2000 I definitely had. There was another one after that, I can't remember what it was called. Dune... Was it called like Dune Battle for Arrakis? And I've got a Gale Force 9 board game. I've got a Gale Force 9 board game. It's a D&D board game, but it was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. So I have a good a good degree of respect for Gale Force 9 games. They can be pretty cool. I love board games. I'm looking forward to when my kids are a little bit older and we can play some board games at Christmas, because I used to play board games with my family a lot, but I guess we don't do that anymore. James, good evening. Gordon says, girlfriend got me an Imperial Knight. Can't decide between the Paladin and the Crusader. Aren't you lucky, man? Do you know that they sell there's a website that sells like a Blood Angels upgrade kit for the Knight? So if you were planning on like solely using that Knight with your Blood Angels, you can get a kit that you can like change out the shoulder pads and stuff to make it even more thematic, if that's something you're interested in. I have always kind of wanted to buy that kit and buy a Knight, because I don't own either, but I think it'll happen for me at some point. I guess I'm not in a giant rush to get a Knight. I always seem to have a massive backlog of Space Marines to paint. I mean, that's what happens when you're a slow-ass painter like I am. Any idea what the website is? Yeah, Legio Models. So basically Legion, without the N at the end, Legio space models. If you search that, I'm like 90% not sure that's it. Let me check. Legio Models. Yeah, that's it. Upgrade kits for your Knights. LegioModels.com. So basically LegionModels.com without the N on Legion. And they have a kick-ass Blood Angels one. It's like third party, so it won't precisely be called Blood Angels, but it's called like Sanguinary Knight or something like that. You'll find it if you search around the site for a few minutes. It does look super dope though. It gives them almost like a golden like a Sangre Guard style head for your Knight. I kind of wanted to do that at some point. I always wanted to do a lot of things, but hey man. You have a saying, time marches relentlessly onwards. It basically just means time doesn't stop for nobody, right? B.A. Baldy, what's happening? You were terrified of what they're going to do to Blood Angels, yeah. I don't know, I just imagine we'll get new kits. We'll get new kits and you'll kind of really want to buy the new kits. That's probably what will happen. Whether or not you can use some of your existing models is going to be the $1 million question. I would hope that they know Blood Angels aren't in a super competitive place right now, and that they're going to try and address some of that. Kevin, what's happening? Brother-in-law got me a 7th unit of Death Company, which I've now gutted to make more jump intercessors. I've got one squad of jump intercessors. Still haven't used them in a battle. I guess I have to use them in a battle sooner rather than later. I did put like some base colours onto them in terms of painting, but it sounds like it's just going to be an upgrade sprue for Death Company. No, I mean, no one will know until we know, right? If the Death Company get a lot worse, then it might actually be a good thing, because it means that they'll have to buff Sangre Guard, because Sangre Guard are in a terrible spot at the moment. who knows? I'm going to try and not be negative about what Blood Angel stuff could be coming, I guess. I guess the only inevitable thing that we know is that at some point you'll probably have to get Primaris models because Firstborn models are not going to be sold anymore. That's like the only thing we can probably guarantee, right? So as long as you're prepared for that inevitability, I think that's probably all you can do as a Blood Angels player. A new Sanguiner. I would love a new Sanguiner. I would like to see the Sanguiner more like our version of a Primarch, because I think it's a bit unfair that Blood Angels don't get a Primarch. I would love to see the Sanguiner like as almost like a Demon Prince of Chaos, right? Where he's like T7 maybe, or T8 with like 10 wounds. I was going to say, I guess a standard sort of 4-up and maybe some really unique mechanic. I mean, his heroic intervention mechanic might be all that he needs. He just needs a more powerful weapon. So maybe, yeah, I would love to see something done with the Sanguiner. In terms of bringing him, because for me personally, it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of hard to get excited about T4 Marines anymore. Like Toughness 4 Marines were super exciting like a decade ago, but now, like my list's more Gravis these days than it is Toughness 4, just because I feel like Toughness 4 is kind of weak. There's a spicy change for the Sangre Guard coming. Well, I don't know anything about that, so I guess we can keep our fingers crossed.
I have awoken.
We need a centerpiece. Yes, we do need a centerpiece, 100%. Highland Phoenix, thank you so much for 34 months of... We're not going to get a better Dante, we just got Dante, man. You must have been with me, like, you must have been one of the first members, Highland Phoenix. 34 months, dude, thank you so much. It's coming up to like 3 years, I guess. It's crazy. It doesn't feel like I've been doing, because the channel's about 3.5 years old now. I'm not sure it feels like it's 3.5 years old. Which is probably a good thing, right? They always say that thing where it's like, if you find a job that you love, you never work a day in your life. I don't know if I believe that, but I do. But I also don't believe that I've been working on this for 3 and a bit years. Crazy. The thing that I noticed the other day is I was trying to remember what I did with my free time before I had the channel. Because obviously since I've had the channel I've had less free time. But like I feel like all I did was like watch more, I don't want to call it drivel on TV, but it was drivel. Tell you, I watched the new Flash movie, and everyone was telling me the new Flash movie sucks, and the CGI in it sucks. And I bought it because I'm an idiot and I like to buy things. I still like physical media. We were talking about this the other night. I still like having my movies on disc, so that when eventually Amazon Prime or whatever gets shut down, I still have my movies. Terrence, thank you so much for the gifted sub, man. I do really appreciate it. Very generous of you. Thank you, especially at this time of the year. I know it's December, no one's got any money, but thank you so much for the gifted sub. I appreciate it. You know, I bought the new Flash movie and I was like, went into it like really thinking like, man, I shouldn't have wasted my money on this. And I'll tell you, I friggin' loved it. I thought it was possibly the best DC movie I've ever seen. Spoiler if you haven't seen it. Michael Keaton was back as Batman. And I thought it was brilliant. So when your friends tell you a movie's rubbish, don't always believe them. Someone in chat is going to tell me it sucks. I'm waiting for it. B.A. Baldy, what spicy news do you know about the Sangre Guard? What do you know that you're not sharing with us? I can't imagine how they make the Sangreguard spicy, man, because every time they try and buff Sangreguard, they buff them to a point where everybody just takes 30 Sangreguard and really upsets the balance of the meta. That lasts for like one patch, and then they have to unbuff them. They have to revert the change, or they have to roll it back or something. It seems like Games Workshop really have struggled over the last couple of years to get Sangreguard balance right. I think it's cool to not like things nowadays. Yeah, there is something to be said about jumping on the bandwagon of not liking things. I actually unsubscribed to a couple of YouTube channels because all they did was get on board of like the they just want to find the drama and everything. I'm like, man, I don't need to. If I don't like something, great. I don't need to like bash the people that made it or anything like that. I'll just say I don't like it and move on. But yeah, I think you're right. I think there is sort of a mentality of like, there is something to be said about getting on a hate train for stuff that you don't like. If you don't like it, just, like I hated those new Star Wars movies. Guess what? I just haven't watched them again. Sometimes I feel a bit sad that, like, because I love Star Wars and I was like, man, I wish I could watch those, like 7, 8, 9, but I'm like, I don't like them. I don't think they were good movies, so rather than bash them, I just don't watch them again, right? It's almost probably been like a decade since I watched episode 4, 5, and 6, so I could probably watch them again at some point and enjoy them. That's the one thing I noticed about getting older, is like you get to a point where you actually haven't seen a film in like 20 years and you can watch it again and you can actually really enjoy it because you've forgotten it all, basically. So there's one advantage of getting old. One of my favourite TV shows ever was Stargate SG-1. I can't even remember when SG-1 was on television, when I was like 15 or something. So at this point, I haven't watched Stargate SG-1 in like 20 something years. So I'm going to watch that again at some point, because it's brilliant. I love SG-1. It's been hinted that Sangreguard are coming in a kill team? Really? James said buying physical media is a smart thing to do. Charity shops are a goldmine. It's crazy how cheap you can pick up physical media nowadays. You can get like brand new Blu-rays for $5. Andonius, good evening. How are you? Yeah, so I don't buy everything I watch on physical, but definitely buy some things on physical. I think I actually probably own more DC stuff on physical than Marvel, just because on Marvel you just get everything on Disney Plus, so you don't spend any money, you just watch it on Disney Plus, right? And we have got Disney Plus because our kids watch Disney crap all the time, so... Campbell! Hope everyone had a good Christmas. Yeah, I hope you did too. Lace Demon said SG-1 kicked arse. Me and my wife have all the DVDs for Stargate and Atlantis. Yeah, man, I keep wanting them to bring Stargate back. I'm actually surprised they didn't bring it back, because for a while there, the longest running science fiction show on TV was the X-Files. And I think X-Files did like 200 episodes. And X-Files makes sense, right? Like, because X-Files was on the TV for forever, and it feels like everybody knew X-Files, everybody watched some X-Files. It was very, very popular. But then the show that actually dislodged X-Files is like the longest ever running science fiction show was Stargate SG-1. I think since then it's been Supernatural has like eclipsed it. Like, I think Supernatural might be the longest one that like in the years since Stargate finished. But man, did I love Stargate. You still think that they'll cost 175 for Sangreguard? If Sangreguard still costs 175 points for 5 of them, they gotta do something significant to get them on the table. I actually don't know how they fix Sangreguard at the moment. I think maybe being able to attach a Sangre Priest would help a lot, but for some reason I think Games Workshop are very reluctant to let them be attached by that Sangre Priest, because I think that would have been an easy fix, right? John, you need to watch Babylon 5. Is it somewhere I can get it? Like, is it on a streaming platform I can get it? I think Andrew has recommended Babylon 5 to me before, but I've never watched it. I think Mark and Tony have also recommended that, actually. Alan Phoenix got his mum the Stranger Things on DVD because it's easier to navigate a disc. I mean, I guess our generation and beyond are just going to be so used to streaming. We actually had like television on the other day, like because of the holidays, and like the television was just on, and my daughter, who's 4, was watching television, right, Highland, and at the end of the program she was watching something else came on. And she was like, "Daddy, this other show has come on." I was like, "Yeah, sweetheart. It's because it's like live television. That's what happens. A show finishes and something else comes on." And she's like, "But we didn't choose it." And I was like, "Yeah, that's how live TV works, sweetheart. You know, you've been watching Disney Plus your entire life. You've just been watching the same cartoon over and over and over." So I don't know, in like 10 years, like maybe we're the I don't know, we are maybe weird in that, like, we generally, when we turn the TV on, we go straight into a streaming program. We don't really go to live TV. But I imagine as the decades pass, that will become even more prominent. So, like, I don't know. Think there'll ever be a day where, like, live TV just won't exist? Maybe. Babylon 5 is in Tubi. I don't know what Tubi is. There's so many streaming things now. There's ones I haven't even heard. I never heard of Tubi before you said that. I think I've heard of Freevee. That's a UK one, I think. Alunda says, imagine a Sanguinor detachment where, if he's the warlord, all Sangre Guard get heroic intervention from Deep Strike, and then they get charge bonuses. I mean, sounds cool. Start 3 squads of Sangard and Deep Strike. That'd be way too strong, man. Anyone charges anywhere, a whole squad of Sangre Guard just come in from Deep Strike with a charge bonus. Yeah, that. I mean, it sounds cool. Will it happen? Probably not. Yeah, 3rd wound on Sangre Guard would help a lot. So what is Tubi? Sorry, I never heard of it. It must be an American. Is it an American one? Is it? Here in the UK, there's like 8 streaming things now. It's kind of getting absolutely ridiculous how many there is. Tubi is US Freeview. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do for Blood Angels, but I really hope that they do something significant, right? Like, I don't want to be stuck as like a 45% army for this whole edition. I'd expected at least 1 melee detachment in the Codex Space Marines, so it surprised me honestly that there was none. Because I felt like, you know, Codex Space Marines shouldn't have been 100% shooting detachments, because there's like 5 detachments in there, right? One of them could have been melee, for sure, I feel like. especially when you have like a couple that just like the first company veterans detachment. Like a lot of people just say it's garbage. A lot of people say the Stormlance detachment's kind of garbage as well. I mean, I certainly haven't had any interest in running those two detachments, and you know me, I like look for, like, I like to go to tournaments and compete at the highest level that my skill will let me compete. And to do that, I need to be playing a good detachment, right? Like, I hate going to a tournament when you're lining your troops up at a tournament and you think before the game's even started, right? Like, my chance of winning this game is super low. I hate that more than anything, probably. So, like, I'm not going to go to a tournament to line up my army against the opponent and be like, the only way I'm winning this is if you make mistakes or if I roll insanely well. Like, I want to be able to win because I've got a strong list with strong strategies. Yeah. We take Temple Guard Blue next. Loving the Dark Angels editions. This edition makes me excited to see what comes for the other chapters, says Campbell. Yeah, I mean, it does look like the Dark Angels have had a decent amount of stuff. And I'm not even sure it's finished yet, right? I guess it'll be really finished when they get their codex and we know exactly the extent of the new stuff they're getting. But if you know, like I saw their upgrade sprue that if you haven't seen it, they like showed off an upgrade sprue on Christmas Day for the Dark Angels. They even gave them some interesting stuff like you know, the heavy plasma cannon that the Redemptor Dreadnought gets. I think it's called the Macro Plasma Cannon. I think it's also the cannon you can put on the Repulsor Executioner. You can, I think it's on the Astraeus as well, actually, maybe. I think Dark Angels can equip that on their Terminators now. Like, I think the upgrade sprue showed a Terminator arm holding one of those giant macro plasma cannons. So I mean, I think in a sense that's very cool, right? Like, I think you maybe have to buy the upgrade sprue to make that happen, but still, like, I think that's cool as all. You know, that's like, how do you put it? That's like branching out. That's like giving the Primaris some flavour, right? Because that's one thing that we always criticise is like the Primaris Marines have no flavour, or they have a distinct lack of flavour. I guess a good example would have been like that. Death Company Intercessors. Like, Death Company Intercessors are very, very generic, no weapon options. So generic, in fact, that like I've never even run them one time. They've been out for what, like 4 years? Firestorm is kind of melee. Firestorm is kind of flamers. I mean, you can do melee, but I think the main strength of the detachment is its flamers, right? We'll get Corbulo and he won't have a jump pack. Apparently I just don't want to believe it. I get frustrated a little bit when we see silly things like that, for example. And that's one of the things that, like, I've tried to make my opinions loud enough that, like, hopefully someone at Games Workshop maybe has heard of the channel and maybe has heard that, like, what I think the opinions are about some of the stuff like that. Like Corbolo, Mephisto not being able to join Blade Guard seems a bit unfair when Kalgar can join Blade Guard and he's basically like same sort of deal, same size, same sort of base size and stuff. So I try and make my voice heard. I try and do the best we can for the chapter, but I guess there's only so much we can do. Hadley, what's happening? Guys, there's so many green names in chat tonight. Thank you everyone that has supported the channel this year, or last year, or whenever. Thank you so much. I know a lot of people, for whatever reason, when I put out a Christmas video, it doesn't get any views. I figure either my thumbnails for Christmas just suck, or people are busy with Christmas. I think it's people are busy with Christmas and not watching a lot of YouTube. But I don't know. But I did do a video that I put out like a few days ago saying thank you to everybody who supported the channel. It didn't get any views, like 300 views. I've got like 13,000 subscribers, so I don't really understand why a video only gets like 2% of the subscriber reviews. Maybe people didn't want to click it, whatever. But if you missed it, then thank you for supporting the channel this year. It means a lot to me. It's been a cool year for the channel, and I hope to keep growing, right? Like, I hope to just keep going. More Blood Angels content. We've got the last piece of the tier list come out in January. Deathwing already had the plasma cannon option, just nobody ran it because Deathwing Knights were so much better. But it's not a plasma cannon anymore, right, James? It's, at least if you look at the upgrade sprue, it's literally the same. It's not a plasma cannon, it's the macro plasma cannon. Like, when I looked at the weapon on the upgrade sprue, it doesn't look like I know what a plasma cannon looks like, unless they're just changing what the plasma cannon looks like. It's the same plasma cannon that Redemptor Dreadnought has, which is a lot better than than a regular plasma cannon, right? Hoggar is basically in Gravis armor. He shouldn't be allowed to join Blade Guard. I mean, yeah, it just feels like maybe they haven't fully finalized what Blood Angels units can join what units yet, and maybe that'll come with our codex. So let's cross our fingers for that, I guess, guys. That's... If someone from Games Workshop reaches out to me, I will explain all of this to them, but unfortunately they don't really talk to me. I'm working on it. Apparently you have to get 30,000 subscribers to join the influencing program, so I'm about halfway there. Almost halfway. Probably be halfway at some point this year. Or technically next year now, right? I don't really get why this guy's heavy bolter has like power cables. You know, heavy bolters back in the day had they had like ammo straps, ammo belts, but now they have power cables. I guess heavy bolters don't use bullets anymore, they use power cables? Who knows? Someone tell me, why does a heavy intercessor's bolter have a power cable rather than an ammo belt? Is there a reason? But hey, I've just painted the power cable, so belt-fed heavy bolters were the best. Will you do Old World though? I really do like the look of the Tomb Kings. I cannot lie. I love the look of the Tomb Kings. I also think they'd be super easy to paint because they're basically skeletons, right? You could just cover all of them in contrast paint and like touch up the tiniest little bits of armor here and there. I think it might depend on the cost of the box. I don't know if they announced the cost of the box yet. I just saw the article that came out on, was it Boxing Day, about the Tomb Kings starter box and the Bretonnian starter box. I'll have the Tomb Kings. I already got a bunch of skeletons for Fantasy. I think I've got 3 start collecting boxes of skeletons for Warhammer Fantasy. Good evening, Crispy Delicious. Hello. They're using box magazines now. Oh yeah, they are using box magazines. So what's the power cables for? See, I didn't even realise it was a box magazine. This is because I'm British, and in British we don't really have any interaction whatsoever with guns, right? Like, we just never see them here in Britain because they've been illegal for the best part of like 20 years. Honestly, as someone who never sees them, if I see a gun, like if I'm at an airport and there's like a policeman with a gun, it's honestly kind of scary just because we never see them, right? It's like so alien. So I flew into Orlando Airport. Maybe like probably more than a decade ago. I haven't been to America all that much in the last decade, but yeah, probably about a decade ago, and we saw like 2 policemen like walking around with like semi-automatic guns. I don't really know what they were, like MP5s or something maybe. Like something out Counter-Strike, and honestly it's kind of terrifying because you're just like, holy crap, you know, like if you never see any guns in your entire life, then when you see them it's kind of scary. Nick says thanks for all the hard work. Oh, Nick, No problem. It's been the worst month of my life, but your video are a welcome break from reality. Nick, I hope things get better for you, man. Times can be tough, but yeah, the best thing to do is keep going, man, regardless of how tough things get. We were going through a few months of real hardship with our kids, where like neither kid would listen to us at all. Every time I would say anything, my daughter's like, why should I listen to you? So yeah, it happens to the best of us, man. But my opinion, my thought is, like, you know, power through, speak to someone if you can, lean on someone. I'm glad the videos have helped you, Nick, but yeah, it can be tough. Life can be tough for everybody, man. It's not always bells and roses, right? Even the best of us have to get through it sometimes. You know, we've got Discord, Nick. You should jump in our Discord. There's lots of Blood Angels people. They're all willing to talk about Blood Angels all the time, take your mind off reality. I mean, that's if that's not what this hobby is, it definitely can be a release, you know? The Heavy Bolter is a box magazine. Belted is a better sculpt, but they wouldn't do it until they update Devastators to Primaris. I don't think we'll get Primaris Devastators. I think Eradicators are your Primaris Devastators. I mean, you've also got Desolation Marines, who are your missile troops. So if you've got your multi-melted troops and your Eradicators, you've got the Desolation Marines as your missile troops. I don't know if we're going to see a squad of just las cannon guys. I feel like we've... You know, they talked a bit about getting rid of so many different options in the Space Marine Codex. I don't think we're going to get a squad of just Devastators or las cannon guys. I think we might see Devastators for like one more edition, and then they'll go the same way as the rest of the Firstborn. And I think if you want las cannons, you might have to find them elsewhere, like Gladiators, Repulsors, Land Raiders, that sort of thing, maybe. The new Dark Angels box will be like 120 to 150. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting the Old World box to be as well, right? Because that's sort of the price of the new boxes, is like somewhere around 100, 150. Maybe you can find a reseller to get it like 20, 30 bucks cheaper. Jason says the guns you don't see are the scariest ones. Yeah, I'm just telling you how it feels, Jason. When you live in a country where guns are completely illegal, you will never, you know, like I haven't, I was going to say, yeah, so you literally wouldn't see it for 20 years till you go to a country where they aren't illegal, right? So it's just so alien to me, I guess. The power cables are for unlimited power. Well, that would make sense. Every time I shoot the Heavy Bolter, I have to shout, unlimited power! Man. Pandaman Pete says, got some Death Company Marines for my brother for Christmas. Gonna try my hand at cloning the Infernal Pistols with some blue stuff and some green stuff. Go for it, man. I don't think people care about WYSIWYG as much as they used to, honestly. But if you can scratch build some Infernal Pistols, like I was going to say, you're a better hobbyist than I am. I wouldn't even know where to start trying to. I've used green stuff a few times, but never to sculpt anything from scratch. Yeah, what am I going to do with these Aquilas? I think I'm going for gold on the Aquilas on the chest, honestly. Maybe gold or bronze? Gold, maybe? Maybe we'll do gold. Oh, I'm trying to think. Gold and silver, maybe? My heavy intercessors don't really match anything else in my army all that much. Laz and Grav is left. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see a specific kit for like Laz and Grav, but I don't know. I feel like they did say they felt like there was too many data sheets in the Space Marine Codex. Because Primaris Marines typically don't get weapon options like that. I find it hard to believe that they're going to do a kit for like a specific kit for like Grav cannon guys and a specific kit for Laz cannon guys. It just seems like it's going to be too much for me. I don't know. Where do you live, Campbell? Where are you from? You UK as well? Too many data sheets, and yet Reavers are still a thing. Ouch. I mean, I'm with you. What the hell? What on earth are Reavers doing in the Codex? Well, I'll tell you, they're not being picked in armies, that's for sure. Or they're not being put into people's lists, are they? The Kingdom of Fife. What's the weather like in Fife today? It was we've just got snow and sleet up here in the north. We did not get a white Christmas. Did anyone get a white Christmas this year? Regardless of where you are in the world, did anyone wake up to a snow-covered garden? I had a little bit of snow like 2 days before Christmas, but it didn't lie. It's been a long time since we've had a white Christmas here in the north of Scotland, which would be surprising because we do get terrible weather up here. Jason was hoping that Reavers would get some sort of scout rule. Yeah, that would have helped them tons, right? Like if they had the same sort of like strategic... Is the rule called the guerrilla tactics on scouts, where they just get to pick up and put down every turn? That would have been huge for them, actually. Like a more durable version of scouts, maybe a little bit more point costly and maybe a tiny bit more killy. I don't know why Reavers have got just... All their mechanics rely on you to do battle shock, right? And their weaponry is just so bloody bad, no one's going to fail a battle shock because they're not going to kill anything. Makes no sense. Reavers really are the unit that time forgot. Or, in fact, Games Workshop forgot. They still have so cool helmets. I would buy a pack of them just to get another pack of those helmets, because their helmets are absolutely dope, but everything else about them sucks. A bit warm and wet for Christmas here in Delaware. Delaware is the state... Let me think where Delaware is. I'm assuming you're quite south if you're in Delaware. Joe, what I might do after these guys is I might do my Plasma Inceptors, because my Plasma Inceptors have been kicking around for so damn long unpainted, even though it's more Gravis Marines. It would be nice to try and finish them off. Because I stuck upside down Sanguinary Guard wings to these Plasma Inceptors. So I don't really know the logic behind it. I just thought that the wings stuck upside down. It's kind of gnarly, like it's very hacky, like just in the middle of their shoulder pads. I actually need to cover that because that one, I need to repaint around that because there's way too much glue in that one. But I thought this would be a cool way to make the plasma inceptors kind of unique. I mean, I stuck wings on Dante as well, actually. I should probably try and finish Dante too. As soon as I finish Dante, I'm sure you'll get good. James says he thinks that they designed the helmets for the Reavers and then just called it a day on the rest of their design. Yeah, possibly. Fox, yes, I don't have a PO box, but I can give you an address. DM me on Discord. And if you've got spare Reaver helmets, sure, I'll take them. That would be awesome, man. Thank you. Probably build like when we finally get Primaris Sangre Guard, it would probably be quite cool to build a squad of Sangre Guard with like Reaver heads. I'm trying to think what I use. I think I used most of the Reaver heads that I had for characters that are maybe defunct now, because I definitely had a Reaver head on my Captain on a bike. I say defunct, I suppose the Captain on the bike still exists within the Codex, but no one runs him, right? Or does he even exist? Does the Captain on the bike even exist anymore? I don't know. I mean, nobody barely even runs the chap on the bike because he can only attach to Outriders. Captain on the bike is now Legends. Yeah, so one of my captains, I had two captains on a bike, and both of them I magnetised the arms, which is a very nice waste of my time, isn't it? If we get a Primaris captain on a bike and bike captains get good again, I'm just gonna buy two bigger bases and slap those bike captains on the bigger bases. I am not redoing those guys with all the magnetised weapon options. I think that's the thing that potentially annoys me the most, is like the time that I wasted making cool conversions and doing cool things like that, for it to just be like, oh, those are all Legends. I really wish that the Primaris had been more of just newer kits for the older squads rather than like brand new squads. Because they try to make, like, Reavers are a good example where they've tried to make a brand new squad and they've completely missed the mark, and like nobody runs Reavers. Suppressors too. I'm sure there's other ones. Sup, Steve? How you doing? Reavers are still good with the Space Wolves. Is that because they've got a special data sheet in Space Wolves where they're like an anti-psyker unit, or do you actually run them as Reavers, or do you run? I think they're called the Hunters of Morokai or something, right? Do you actually run them as Hunters of Morokai, or do you run them as Reavers or Space Wolves? Because I actually don't know. Try running 2 Leviathans and 2 Contemptors. Dude, I feel like I should just take my super heavy tank out of his box tonight, because he hasn't been out of his box this year probably. And I can't even remember the next, like, when's he going to come out of his box again? He's just in his box because they just made him Legends, and I don't know when, if ever, he's coming out of his box again. And it's such a cool model. It was the centerpiece to my whole army, right? Like a 250-pound tank or something. That's why we need the Sanguiner to become... Because Dante isn't a centerpiece. Dante's fine. He's cool. but he's not a centerpiece. You know, like he's just a slightly bigger Marine. I'm talking like a centerpiece like other chapters have. Like, obviously the Lion was just voted like one of the best models of the year. You know, now Dark Angels have that cool ass centerpiece. Where's the Blood Angels cool centerpiece? I'm ready. I'll buy it. Just give me the option, I'll buy it, you know? I want a cool centerpiece model. Marius, good evening, hello. Hello, Walter. A lot of people in the house tonight, 41. Hope you guys are all having a good Christmas. If you don't know, we are going to be streaming in 2 nights' time for New Year. So, I was going to say, I better put some more beers in the fridge. So come and join us on New Year's stream. I think I'm going to be joined by Mark and Tony. We will be here probably from about 10:30 on New Year. That's 10:30 UK time, so about 5:30 Eastern time. So if you're going out in America for your New Year, but you want to come have a few beers before you go out for your party, then we'll be here, and you can hang out. You can have a few beers. I'm sure we'll have some laughs. Will it be here? Yes, it'll be here. Yeah, and sometimes you are right, Jason. Sometimes there are live bagpipes from somebody on my estate. And do you know what? This year I have actually heard someone practicing bagpipes quite a lot. So I'll be very surprised if we don't hear some bagpipes on New Year. So I'll maybe try and stick my webcam out the window. I've got a spare webcam, like an old crappy one. Stick it out the window and see if we can catch some bagpipes. I've got a USB extension lead extender, but whatever you would call it, I guess. It's always a fun stream, the New Year stream. Like, nothing too serious. I think in previous years I've tried to do some painting on the New Year stream and like ended up not doing very much painting at all, but did a bunch of drinking, so I'll maybe pick something that's going to be super easy to paint that needs like zero focus, like a tank or something. It just needs like base color slapped all over it, so we can focus on having fun rather than painting. Or I might not even paint, we'll see. Drunk Angels Commander. Alright, good stream name. Let's do it. I like it. So the stream for 2 nights from now will be called Drunk Angels Commander. I don't know if I'm getting drunk, honestly, because I'll have kids to look after in the morning, man. And I've promised I'm cooking on the 1st, so I need to be well enough to cook for everybody. I don't really have a... See, once I start drinking, I either have 2 pints and call it quits, like I'm good, you know, like had a couple of pints, feel good, or I just go the complete opposite, where like I have 15 pints and don't know how to stop. I've got no in between. John, what's your thoughts on Braveheart? My thoughts on Braveheart is the movie is nowhere, you know. It's a movie, man. It's like it's not reality, and I don't know if you know this, but in the movie there's the giant battle that the Scots win when they're outnumbered and stuff. In reality, that battle was called the Battle of Stirling Bridge, and there was a bridge, and the reason the Scots won is because too many English people went on the bridge and the bridge collapsed in the middle of the battle, because I guess bridges built in like the 1400s weren't that good. But in the Braveheart movie, there's not even a bridge in that battle. That battle's like on an open plain. So my opinion of Braveheart is it was a good movie. Is it factually accurate? Not in the slightest. So, I mean, it's, you know, I think, you know, normally if they're basing it on something like that, they would put like a disclaimer. Well, it's not a disclaimer, is it? They would be like, based on true events. At the start or the end, right? I don't think they do either in Braveheart. I think Drunk Angel's Commander is better. There's no battle at there's no bridge at the Battle of Stirling Bridge. Yeah, exactly. So you can actually go to that. I've been there. Like, we did it in history class or something. We went to Stirling and went to the place where the battle was. That's why I know there's supposed to be a bridge there. Because the Scots won the battle because like half the English lost their lives when the bridge collapsed. And it was like, in the movie, there's no bridge. So, the movie's just the movie. I mean, it's a good movie, I'm sure. I guess it gets some people patriotic, but, I mean, in terms of factually accurate, it's not. I mean, I don't know if Mel Gibson is known for factually accurate stuff. I don't think he is, right? I did see someone did an audition video for Henry Cavill. Did you guys see that? It was like a TikTok. Some random guy just got his camera out and like did a bunch of stunts and was like, this video is for Henry Cavill and it's my audition for the Warhammer TV show. I thought that was hilarious. And I thought to myself, we should all do that. Every single member, every single channel subscriber, we could correlate into one giant video of all the bad auditions. Like, I could collect them all. Every single person who'd film in their backyard, like in the next few days, their audition for the Warhammer TV Plus show. And they can be really, really bad. I mean, bonus points for them being bad, right? Like, the idea is not to be good, the idea is to be hilarious. So one guy was like he just had like a stick, like a stick you would throw for your dog, and he was just in his garden, and he was like, "This is my audition for Henry Cavill," and he's like, "Take that, heretic," and he's like waving the stick around like it's a lightsaber or something, or I guess more factually appropriate would be like he's waving the stick around like it's a power sword. That would be good, right? Mel Gibson is great. Payback is a good movie. I liked him in Mad Max, but that's going back a while. Or Lethal Weapon. I like Lethal Weapon. If you've ever watched any Lethal Weapon movies recently, they did not age well, but I remember watching Lethal Weapon 3, I think, when it came out. 1988, I think, was Lethal Weapon 3, right? Was it? Or was it Lethal Weapon 2 was 88? I don't know. I remember watching it right when it came out, or right when it came onto VHS, because that's how you used to get movies back in the day. You rented them on VHS. That video is fun, but it's not a real edition. Well, I know it's not a real edition, but I think the fact that he made it seem like it was supposed to be a real edition added to the hilarity of it, right? And I think if the whole community got together and did it, then the idea would not to be that it's like a real edition. The idea would be it needs to be the funniest edition. So like, you get bonus points for your edition being bad, right? I thought it was a hilarious video. I was like, this guy's a genius. I should have made that video. Good memories of Blockbuster Video. Yeah, I mean, that was the days, right? Here's the thing though, back then, right? I don't know if you ever experienced this, Michael, but see when you went to like Blockbuster Video, I guess with your like father or your parents on like because that was typically what our weekend was, right? We would go on like a Friday night and we'd get like 2 movies, one to watch Friday night, one to watch Saturday night. You know, that was luxury. That was luxury in the 90s, right? You got to rent like 2 movies from Blockbuster, but you didn't know if they were any good. Like you couldn't stand in the shop and go like, hey, has anyone seen What's a really, really, really bad movie from the 90s? Like, it's the worst movie I've ever watched. What about Battlefield Earth with John Travolta? Because we rented that one time. And that movie was friggin' terrible. Oh yeah, you got a box of popcorn as well. I forgot that. Yeah, you got popcorn. Sometimes they even sold you like a 2-litre bottle of Coke as well. Showgirls, that was a bad movie too. So you couldn't like stand in the movie store and like Google or, you know, or even text. I don't even think you had phones with text messages. You couldn't even text your mate like, hey, have you seen Battlefield Earth? It's got John Travolta in it. It's a few years after Pulp Fiction. It's a science fiction one with a giant budget. It's going to be good, right? No, it's an absolute piece of shit. So you rented it and you got it home and you put it in your VHS player and you thought to yourself, well, great, what a great evening we're gonna have. That was the one that was written by L. Ron Hubbard, yeah, the Scientology guy. If anyone's a Scientologist, I guess you should know him, because he wrote a couple of other he wrote Battlefield Earth. He also wrote like an invasion series. But yeah, the Battlefield Earth was a really, really bad movie. I don't think it was a bad book. I just think it was a bad, like, I never actually read the book for Battlefield Earth, but I don't remember people saying it was a bad book. I just remember watching the movie and thinking this is terrible. But sometimes, you know, it's always hard, I think, to make a movie of a book. Like, because if you think about a book, like a book is hundreds of pages and thousands of, you know, so much of that is filled in by your imagination. But like in a movie theater, everything has to be on the screen or whatever. That's why like people were worried very hard about Lord of the Rings, because they were like, Lord of the Rings is a giant book. And hey, when I first watched Lord of the Rings in the cinema, I kind of enjoyed the trilogy. But they had to cut full chapters, or they had to cut full bits about. If you've only ever seen the movies, there's a whole bit in Lord of the Rings where, like, you remember when Frodo was captured after he was, like, stabbed by Shelob? There's a whole bit where, like, Sam puts the ring on, and the reason Sam's able to rescue Frodo from the orcs is because he's fucking invisible. Like, you know, because normally in the movie, Sam, like, fights the orcs on the stairwell or some shit, and, like, Sam actually beats the orcs up. It never made a whole lot of sense to me, I think. And honestly, it's been about 25 years since I read Lord of the Rings. But I'm convinced in Lord of the Rings, Sam just puts the ring on at that point and sneaks past all the fucking orcs that are in there. And that's how he rescues Frodo, because he's bloody invisible. And then he just gives him the ring back. But like in the movie, none of that happened, right? And then there's the chapters at the end that didn't happen. So I always think, like, if your favourite book is getting made into a movie, you're probably not going to like the movie, right? Because, like, they're probably going to have to cut, like, they might even have to cut your favourite character to fit into 2 hours runtime, and you wouldn't think that. But that is actually how it works, because you can put so much in a book. So if any of these Horus Heresy novels that you love ever get a movie made about them, you need to be super skeptical, because you're like, I don't know how they fit all that into 2 hours. Probably they can't, and they gotta cut some stuff. Sam is a real hero of the Lord of the Rings. Ready Player One. Ready Player One, I never watched that yet, actually. But I mean, for the most part, I did enjoy the Lord of the Rings movies. But you've got to realise when you go in, it's never going to be as good as the book. And I've always wanted some of my favourite books to become movies, but I guess you're just going to have to realise if your favourite book ever becomes a movie, don't expect it to be as good as the book, because if you do, you're probably going to be let down, right? Or you're probably going to be disappointed. Maybe not let down, that's the wrong word. Where was Tom Bombadil? Yeah, good question. I mean, I guess he was on the cutting room floor along with the Raising of the Shire, right? lot of people are upset about that new Lord of the Rings Amazon show. I watched it, thought it was fine, but again, there's like, I think as well, it's also a really thankless task to take. I guess what would you call that? Like revered subject matter. And I think that's the danger with the Warhammer stuff as well. Like when you take that revered subject matter, where people are very passionate about it, people absolutely love it, and you take it from, you know, the form that they've had it for 20 years, like in a book, and you put it into... So maybe the best thing they can do for Henry Cavill's Amazon thing is they can just do a unique new story or something. You know, like maybe that would be the way to do it, because if they do something that's revered, or they try and convert a book or something like that, that's when it gets dangerous, and that's when you get all the critics and the haters, and there'll be people that will get off on just hating on the new stuff for no other reason than hating on it, I guess, right? Like there will be people that do that. There will be people that hate on it for no other reason than to hate on it. And in some cases on YouTube, they'll hate on it purely to get clicks and views, man. And that's what you gotta watch on YouTube. That's why, I mean, I purposely try not to make negative content because I don't want to watch that myself, so I try not to make it. But people will do it 100%.
I have awoken.
Where's our Angels of Death review? I noticed that they made the Origin series free on Warhammer Plus until the end of the year? If it is until the end of the year, I'm gonna run out of time again. I haven't watched the Origin series of Angels of Death yet, anyway. Nick says he actually didn't mind the Rings of Power. Yeah, I thought it was fine. Wasn't quite what I was expecting. I feel like it might get better if they do a second season. I think there is a second season coming. I'll tell you what I really enjoyed, and I wasn't so sure I would enjoy it, was House of the Dragon. Did you guys see that? Like, I really enjoyed House of the Dragon. Like, I'm so ready for season 2 of House of the Dragon. If you don't know what it is, it's a prequel to Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones kind of took a nosedive at the end. Personally, I really didn't like the last season, I think. But I watched season 1 of House of the Dragon, and like I was like, man, like, you know, it was one of those shows when I finished it, I was like Googling it, I was like, are they making a season 2 of this? Because I thought season 1 was great. Really enjoyed House of the Dragon. Yeah, there is, you're right, Buffalo, there is sort of this GW police where regardless of what they do, people will be upset. But so I think the best thing they could do is a unique show, but whatever they do, I'll watch it. And whatever they do, I'll even if it's not my favourite, I'm not gonna bash it. I'll give like a, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see more 40k TV become mainstream, so I'll try and find positives in it regardless, because I'd like to see more, and I don't think bashing things helps anyone. And plus, like I said, everybody bashed that new Flash movie. Like, because we got 2 kids, I honestly bought that Flash movie like 2 months ago. We only got to watch it like I think we watched it on Christmas. I think we watched it on the 26th. We got the kids down on the 26th, and me and my wife watched the movie, and I said to her before we put it on, I was like, everybody's been flaming this movie, saying the CGI has been terrible, so like, I guess don't have too high hopes. Maybe that's why we really enjoyed it, went into it with like really low expectations, and we're like, wow. I said to my wife when it finished, I was like, I really enjoyed that movie. I probably enjoyed it more than any of the recent Marvel movies, honestly. And I think that movie did bad, and I think it's sort of been the nail in the coffin for DC, right? Like they're having to reboot the whole franchise again with DC. I think the guy that played the Flash is done playing the Flash. He's never getting to play the Flash again. And I was like, man, I enjoyed it. But I like Michael Keaton as Batman. That was good. Can you watch House of the Dragons having never seen Game of Thrones? Well, it's a prequel, so I think so. Not much of it attaches to Game of Thrones, and beyond the fact that they're in that timeline and there's dragons and stuff. I think so. Can anyone else answer that question for Jason? Clint says Henry Cavill will know how to simplify a story and keep the integrity of the show intact. I think so. Yeah, they probably picked the right man for the job because he is such a Warhammer fan, right? And it's probably really good that they picked him, like hand-picked him. If anyone has a chance of it doing it right, I feel like it's probably him. So, in terms of getting having the right showrunner, then we have Henry Cavill, so that's something. You watch the show but not the Warhammer Plus animations. You know what, I was watching the Warhammer Plus animations, Marius, but here's the thing. If I'm downstairs, I don't think, maybe they've changed it now, but I don't think my TV had an app for Warhammer Plus. Like I've got an app for Disney Plus, I've got an app for Amazon Prime. Is there an app for like I don't think my TV's got an app for Warhammer Plus, and I think that would change the accessibility of it for me, right? A few people are saying you can watch House of the Dragon without watching Game of Thrones. Yeah, I mean, I bought season 1 in 4K, and I thought it was amazing, House of the Dragon. But like I said, at the end of Game of Thrones, I'd gone off Game of Thrones. Use your laptop to stream it. Right, well, I've only got my TV and my PlayStation downstairs, and if there had been an app for either of those, it would be much easier for me to get my wife to sort of, like, hey, can we watch this tonight? Because my wife watched, like I said, my wife's, I was going to say she is a big gamer. She was a gamer before we had kids. She used to play World of Warcraft. I mean, we used to play it together, actually, for a while. So she would watch that sort of stuff if it was easy for me to put it on the television. I'll try and put on I think Angels of Death is supposed, the new season is supposed to be free for a few days, right? I'll try and I'll maybe try and watch it tonight after I get done streaming. I was going to say, if it's free, what's the legality of me putting it on my screen while I'm streaming? I don't know. Maybe I'm not. No, I wouldn't be allowed to do that, because then it would be available after it's no longer free anymore, right? Well, that's a pity, because I could have literally just fired it on right now. I'm missing your question about Anti-Chaos 5-Up. You think Robert Pattinson's Batman is safe? Yeah, that Batman movie, the Robert Pattinson one, I checked it on Wikipedia the night after I watched The Flash, and it made like 600 million profit. So I think you're right. I think it's safe to say Robert Pattinson will get to do another another Batman movie. I liked him in Batman, actually. Thank you so much for subscribing. Appreciate it, dude. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the brotherhood. Enjoying all 10,000 of us. I tell you though, it'll be cool if they managed to do like a Warhammer cinematic universe. Like, how good would that be? And I mean, Amazon have a lot of money. They poured like $1 billion into that Lord of the Rings show, and by all accounts, it didn't do too well. So like, if the Warhammer one does well, then it's like, you know, Amazon's got the money to fund it, right? So what we should all do, regardless of, right, even if the Warhammer show isn't the best, because let's face it, the first time they bring out like a new IP, new show, new frontrunner, whatever, it's possibly not going to be the best. We should all watch it. We should all watch it multiple times, like, because, you know, all their data is based on like how, like, they have data. If you think they don't have data on what people are watching on Amazon Prime, you're mental. They know everything about you. I'm pretty sure, like, I've been on my phone, I've had my phone out, I've not even had an app open or anything, and I've said to my wife, like, hey, we really need some new curtains for in here. And the next time I've opened the Amazon app, it's like, suggested for you, curtains. I'm like, they're listening to you via your Alexa devices, via your phones. You know, they say they're not, but they are. Maybe not to this. I'm sure I've seen a few times like that where I've said something and I've no idea how they've known to recommend that to me. Like, I haven't searched it ever. It's just been a conversation that's happened in my house or something like that. So they're listening to us all the time, so we should just all say, oh, that Warhammer show, it's amazing. We want more Warhammer show. Whenever you're near your Alexa devices. Because, yeah, we should give it, even if it's not the best, we should all give it as much positivity as we can. Because if we don't, then you won't get more of it, right? I mean, that's how the world works these days, I guess. That's the problem with streaming, you know? Back in the day, they had to commission like 20 episodes. So even if it wasn't the greatest show, you still got 20 episodes. Now it's like they do these little trial, like 8 episodes, and if no one watches it, they just don't make any more. So I don't know. My thought is that we should be super positive about it, regardless of what it is, right? It's predictive AI. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's AI. It's AI that knows what I need for my house before I know what I need for my house. It's scary is what it is, I suppose. Oh, you're right. I suppose it could go badly. The only thing we can do is we can watch it, right? And we can try and be positive about it. And that's all we can do. The studio will decide if they're going to do more of it. The only people that would Google something with my IP address, Jason, is literally me or my wife. And I was telling my wife what we needed. And then it was like suggested for you in Amazon. Maybe I told her in a text message or something. Maybe that's where it all came from. I like told her in a text message, hey, we need this. And then the next time I was on Amazon, it's like, hey, suggested for you. Like, how did they even know that? Where are they getting that data from? Who knows? Alright, we're getting there. We're getting there. This is why I advocate for Warhammer Plus. More shows will come if we support it. That's very true. Marius, thanks so much for the $4.99, dude. I appreciate it. Good evening, Adrian. How are you? Yeah, it's hard though, Marius, because there's so many places online that want your subscription now, and I mean, I'm the worst person to talk about that because I'm literally hypocritical asking you guys to subscribe for like whatever it is, $4, $5 a month, right? So it's like, I get it. But yeah,
Marius Gage
we should
donated
be as positive as we can be about
£4.99
stuff
via
because
Super Chat.
there's enough
This
people on
is
the
why I
internet being
advocate for
negative about
Warhammer
stuff.
Plus. More shows
That
will
we
come
should
if
be
we
as
support
positive as we
it.
can be and call out all the good and like personally, like I said, I subscribed to the first time I noticed it was I was subscribed to a channel that always wanted to talk about Star Wars, but all he wanted to do was bash the new movies. And at one point I just decided I'm not interested in negative stuff in my timeline anymore, and I just unsubscribed. So if a creator or a channel or anything is overly negative, I just unsubscribe. I'm not interested. Alright, I still can't decide what I'm doing with the damn Aquillas on their chess pieces. I feel like I've painted them the wrong... I mean, they're grey, so it's an easy one to go. It's an easy one to change what colour. Grey is a perfect base colour. But I just don't know if I want to paint them black and then dry brush them. Normally, I might paint them black and then just dry brush them with like some sort of grey. But I was just thinking of doing something different. I don't know what I'm doing with them. That's the problem. I don't know what I want to achieve with them. What colour? Black and grey dry brush. Gold for the sergeant. I mean, I already gave the sergeant this little gold thing on his back, or the heavy bolter guy's got this gold thing, and the sergeant's got a gold shoulder pad. So I could do. A lot of people are saying black with grey highlight. That's kind of what I was thinking. I don't know why I painted them grey in the first place. Because I'm an idiot? Because I was probably talking to you guys and not paying attention, I guess. But black is usually what I go with. I think I'm just reluctant to paint them black because I already paint them grey. But, guess we'll go with the black. Alright, I'll do that in a minute or two. It's fair value for the cost, says Blood Buffalo, but it's maybe a missed opportunity. It's still early though, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people forget is like... Or I don't know, is it because it's early, or is it because people are very demanding? Warhammer fans are pretty demanding though, right? Like if I make a mistake in one of my videos, like I get called out on it. Like people are like, John, don't you know that this thing as you said on minute 3 of video such and such is wrong? You know, we are a demanding fan base. I hate making mistakes, but I mean they do happen. I'm only human, right? So it's like I might say, I don't know, like I think in one of the tier list videos we maybe said a unit could attach to this unit and it can't attach or something, and like people let us know like passionately, like, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. We're like, oh shit, we made a mistake.
I have awoken.
Am I gonna use my wet palette yet? Don't call me out on that, Cambo. I actually don't know where I've put it. We'll try and find it. I think the issue that I had with not using it was because there was a period there where I was going, like I hadn't painted anything in ages. And I felt like if I start using the wet palette, I'm going to forget about it and it's going to go mouldy because I haven't painted properly in ages. And I don't know. I'm very much, I'm honestly the worst person you would ever know for like changing things. Like I hate change, like with a passion. Like if something works and it doesn't need to be changed and the only reason to change it is for change, you know, like I hate that. And I don't know why I hate it so frivolously or so aggressively, but I guess it's just who I am. So I'm trying to do better with that sort of stuff. Like where I'm trying to be more open, I'm trying to be more willing to change. But honestly, change is something I'm really, really bad at. So like if I've painted a specific way for a long time and it's wrong, and someone tells me it's wrong, I'm like, yeah, I get it's wrong, but that's the way I do it, and I don't want to change it. But I don't have a reason for not wanting to change it beyond the fact that I don't want to change it. Does that make sense? I'm just really bad with change. I'm first to admit it as well. But yeah, I know I'm bad with change. I know. You guys just have to put up with it. I'm old. I think that might be a thing that happens. The older you get, the more stubborn you get. Or you've just been doing something wrong for so many years, you're just like, oh, I can't change at this point. I tell you though, I was at the doctor recently and they told me that I had a vitamin deficiency, which I've been taking tablets to fix. It's been helping loads. Like, I was really struggling with my eyesight. Apparently your eyesight can be affected by vitamin deficiencies, so like when I'm painting this now, I feel like so much more confident. It's like I can see better than I can see better than I've seen in like 2 years or something, just by taking a friggin' vitamin. I wish I'd gone to the doctor earlier, but you don't always know. So, happy days. Can I blame not finishing top 3 at that GT on having a vitamin deficiency? I mean, probably, right? What are the biggest nerfs you're expecting in January? I think aggressors, man. I think that they'll nerf aggressors, but I don't think aggressors necessarily deserve to be nerfed. And I think if they get nerfed again, we probably need to start rethinking Gladius. Is that even possible? DTM says you hate change. Sad Zinch noises. Yeah, I do, apparently. Walter says he heard a saying that no game of Warhammer was ever played perfectly. That's probably pretty accurate, Walter. It's very difficult with the amount of rules that's in the game to have those perfect games with no mistakes. We still make mistakes in stream. We're lucky we got people in chat like DTM who come in and keep us right sometimes. DTM thought he was going to have a chill night off one night, and then he had to fix us on rule corrections like 15 times or something, so I'm hoping First Company detachment will be buffed. I think everybody is. First Company detachment, I must admit, I feel like is getting very little / no play. I think their Oath of Moment rule needs to be more than once per game, to be totally honest with you. I can't foresee myself ever picking that detachment based on the fact that it's just once per game for one unit. And yeah, probably the only way they can fix that is actually by changing the detachment, because it's not like they can change the points of units within that detachment, right? That's not really an option for them, so... I think the problem is if they nerf aggressors in any way, shape or form, like they make them more pointly, they'll not only kill them in Gladius, they'll kill them in the Firestorm detachment. And I think that's one of the negative things that they've created for themselves by doing fixed points cost, where like the Bolter guys cost the same as the Flamer guys, because the power of those two units could be quite different. So yeah, I'm still not a huge fan of fixed points costs. I guess that's what we've got at the moment. And I guess that's what's gonna stay for a while. Might stay this entire edition, I guess we'll see. But yeah, it's not my favourite fixed points cost, that's for sure. hopefully a Sons of Sanguinius buff. I don't think they'll change that detachment, Jim, until we get the Codex, honestly. Did I just admit to being human? I'm very human. At least I think I am. Yeah, it annoys me how many mistakes I can sometimes make on our stream, or sometimes how, like, the silliest, simple rule that we've been playing all along will come back to bite us, and we're like, Jesus, how have we forgot this simple rule? I'm only expecting points changes. I think that's all we're going to get in January is points changes. And you're probably going to see points changes for units that you're not really playing more than units that you are playing, right? It's a tough one. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see them make Sons of Sanguinius more competitive. I'd love to see it. I think it needs to happen. I'm not playing Sons of Sanguinius because I think it is not competitive. Obviously different people have different metas and they feel differently about it, but I genuinely really dislike +1 strength on the charge. I don't think that's impactful in enough situations to make it to, like, sacrifice the bonuses I get from Gladius for that. There's no real other way to describe it in that I just don't think +1 strength on a charge. I mean, maybe, like, you know, World Eaters have the same +1 strength, but, like, their weapons are a lot higher base strength to begin with, so I think there's a much higher chance that it will be impactful. You know, like, I think, are 8-bound hitting already at, like, strength 7 or something? And then they're going up to strength 8, or maybe they're hitting at strength 6 and they're going up to strength 7, you know, like, I think that sounds much more impactful than, like, Blood Angels going from strength 4 to 5, right? I'd love to see points reductions to suppressors, yes. Space Mountain says, is the Sons of Sanguinius detachment not all that good? At the moment, in the last time they released data for, like, win rates across the entire game, if I'm incorrect here, please somebody correct me from chat, but I believe Sons of Sanguinius was the lowest win rate detachment in all of Warhammer 40k. Maybe there was, like, a detachment or something of something obscure that was lower. Oh, I was going to say SHIT, that's my daughter. I'm going to be back in a sec, guys. Sorry. Sorry, I'm back. My 4-year-old just told me that she's way too excited for Christmas. That's why she keeps her eyes open for a lot of days. That's a direct quote. I don't want to break the news to her that we did Christmas like 3 days ago or something, love. Campbell, hope to see you on the New Year's stream. Have a great one. Thanks for hanging out. I mean, she did get Christmas presents. I didn't get her nothing, guys. I need to open a new pot of Mechanicus Standard Grey. I think this grey is... this one's pretty old. I hate painting the joints between their legs when they're already made, you know that? Even more so when you're doing the second coat, because I'm probably going to make mistakes that I have to touch up again with red paint. Oh, two thin coats. How was Christmas? Oh, it was good, Marius. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I got Tony from the Three Grots sent me some paints, and I got some new handkerchiefs. I was actually looking for them today. Apparently, I've lost them. I got some new handkerchiefs. I got some chocolates. I got a DVD, which was my main present, but I was very excited about that. And I feel like I got one other thing, but it was it socks? It was something like that. Maybe oh, I'd have forgotten what it was, but yeah, it was like something like socks. I was happy. The kids had a great Christmas, and that's the main thing in our house. And we got through the whole Christmas morning without any sort of blow up or tantrum or anything, and I said to my wife, like, hey, look at that, we got through the whole Christmas morning without a fight. And then, like, honestly, 5 minutes after I said that, there was a tantrum and a fight. So I was like, John, you idiot, keep your fat mouth shut, you know. But yeah, no, it was great. Thanks for asking. How was yours? You have a good one? Lace was given your first ever handkerchief the other month and used it once, and it felt so wrong. Why did it feel wrong? No. Yeah. What are you doing, sweetheart? Right, I'm gonna get my daughter a drink. I'll be back in a second. This reminds me of bedtime with my kids, yeah? How do you like using the magnifier light, says Noah. I use it all the time, Noah. I like it a lot. It's the 300% magnification, apparently. The only thing that I notice with the magnifying light is you will paint details that you then do not see with the naked eye. So what happens is you're like painting away with your magnifier, you're maybe like, probably do it on stream all the time, like we'll be painting underneath their legs here or something. And the thing is, like, because with 300% I can see that there's like little bits of red like sneaking through there. But if I look at it with the naked eye, I probably can't see the red. So it probably adds to the slowness of my painting, and that I'll end up painting parts of the model that you will not really see with the naked eye. But I guess the other side of that might be that then I end up with a really crisp paint job, and people often comment on my paint job saying that they do think they are quite crisp because you're fixing mistakes to a very fine detail or something, right? So I bought this one on Amazon probably about 4 or 5 years ago. The reason it's plugged in is because I brought it so long ago that the battery in it is knackered. Like if it's not plugged in, the battery dies in like 10 minutes. When it was new, the battery was like 2 hours or something. So yeah, I've had this one for years. I don't know if you saw that there was duct tape on it here as well, and that I dropped it one time and like cracked it. So yeah, I had this one for ages. I like it a lot. If it ever dies on me, I'll probably Like, if I ever completely broke it, I'd probably just instantly buy another one. Like, it's so core to my painting that I don't... I feel like I can't paint details anymore without it. What takes a little while to get used to, though, is obviously your hand movements are very different. When you see your hands moving in like 300%, obviously a tiny little movement is a lot different from what it would be. But yeah, I swear by it now. I use it all the time. I literally, if I can't have my magnifier, I kind of don't want to paint detail. Right? Can a chaplain be attached to Death Company intercessors? Yes, I believe so. Chaplain on foot, yeah. The worst thing about handkerchiefs, though, dude, is if you've got young kids, is that you forget that you blew their nose a few times on your handkerchief, and then you go to use your handkerchief and it's disgusting. But if you get past that, I think it's nice to have handkerchiefs. What movie did I get? I got They Live, which is a 1980s John Carpenter horror movie. I love John Carpenter. One of my favourite movies of all time is The Thing. And I've been collecting the older John Carpenter movies because they're all getting 4K DVD releases now. And I got The Thing in 4K, I think in the summer this year. And we watched it, and honestly, if you like The Thing movie, I mean, the special effects haven't aged great because they were like practical effects from the 80s. But like the outdoor shots and stuff in The Thing in 4K was awesome. So I really enjoyed The Thing in 4K, so I now have They Live in 4K. It was the inspiration for Duke Nukem. Yeah, it's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. But I'm all out of gum. So yeah, that was what I got. I got the Steelbook. That's what my wife got me. So I get the Steelbook of They Live. We haven't watched it yet, but I'm very excited to watch it. It was one of those movies where I last saw it. Like I said, I watched a lot of movies when I was like 15. I'm 40 now. So I probably last saw it when I was a teenager. I always joke, like, as a 40-year-old, I can't even remember what I had for dinner last night. So if I'm watching a movie I haven't seen in like 25 years, for me it's like a brand new movie. Good. Frank, yeah, I came here to kick ass and chew bubble gum. So what was the best Christmas present everybody got? Anyone got anything super dope that they were excited to get, that they weren't expecting? I kind of knew my wife was going to get me one of the old John Carpenter movies because I told her, like, I think The Fog and I think Escape from New York, maybe? All have got a 4K release now, and I was like, just whichever one you can get in Steelbook in 4K, I'll love it. You know, just get me any of them. I'm going to probably work on, like, completing my collection of those over the next few years, I suppose. Someone sent me a legit GW Lord of Change to go with my 3D printed Lord of Change. I hope somebody you know, DTM. You just said somebody. Like it's a mystery. Like someone benevolent from the internet has sent me a Lord of Change. If so, that's cool. I mean... you could have said Santa has sent me a Lord of Change. James treated himself to a leather jacket. Nice. Do you know what I went through my Big Trouble in China is on my wish list, says Frank. Nice. Todd got a sweet magnetic carrying case. I meant a friend, I just don't drop names. I get you. Ager says my new army for 2024 is Blood Angels. A bit worried about painting models and shortly after new ones being released. What do you think will get re-released? It's a good question. It's a very difficult question to answer though, right? Like, I think if you're starting Blood Angels, I would say for the next 6 months, maybe longer, buy Primaris Marines because they won't get re-released. What might get re-released is anything that is Firstborn. And I know that's super awkward because obviously you're going to maybe want some of the Firstborn, like the Death Company, like the Sangre Guard, but I feel like unfortunately that's reality where like Games Workshop are phasing out Firstborn models. It's hard to say when. Even Firstborn tanks I think are not exempt from being phased out. So if your new army is Blood Angels, I would focus all your time and money and effort into Primaris kits. Get what you think is the most competitive Primaris kits. Get them painted and ready, and then wait for the Firstborn stuff, right? I suppose what you could do is you could get Mephiston and Dante. They are both of our characters that have been upgraded to Primaris, so they are probably safe. People are loving Jump Intercessors. People also loving Inceptors. I'd say they're probably both safe as well because they both just came. Well, Inceptors didn't just come out, but Jump Intercessors did. And I think Inceptors are safe for a long time because they're such a popular unit. And then I think people are also doing Gladiators. And also, to a certain extent, maybe Aggressors. I mean, I painted a bunch of Aggressors last edition. They were, or 2 editions ago. They were a bit weak for 1 edition, but they're kind of back now. So Aggressors could also be a good option. I feel like they're probably quite safe. I saw, Marius, that you got a Gladiator Lancer. I think you were talking about it on Twitter. You can do all 3 variants of the Gladiator from one box. You just need to magnetize the turret. So it is possible to do that, which is quite cool. I like kits that you can I like vehicles that you can magnetize multiple weapon options on them. That's a nice thing to be able to get, or be able to do, I guess. So I'm probably going to just paint the remaining second coat on all these armor joints, and then I'm probably going to take off for the night. What time is it? It's coming up to 10, yeah. So if you got any very specific Blood Angels questions, like Ager did, one answered before I leave, I was going to say you got 10-15 minutes to post them. If not, well, I'll be back in 2 nights' time for the New Year's stream, so hopefully I'll catch some of you guys then anyway. Yeah, mistakes were made. Yeah, no problem, Major. Hopefully that it is a little bit frustrating, right? In that, like, but yeah, I really like Vindicator tanks. I really think they're a very good unit at the moment. I think if I had 3, I'd probably run 3 in my army, but like, it's just so scary to buy another one because who knows? Like, maybe it lasts a couple of years, but also even a couple of years isn't that long, right? Like, probably from buying the models to putting them together to high enough standard where I'm happy to call them done. For me, it's like 3 months for a 5-man squad. I could do models quicker, but I make YouTube videos every week, and I got 2 kids, so my time is very limited. So if I didn't make YouTube videos, I could probably do a set of models every month, right? Probably do like 5 guys a month. Because I make the YouTube videos every week, I literally half the time I have for painting, because I spend the other half making YouTube videos. So For me, it's scary to have to spend the time and the money on a model that's just going to be defunct in 6 months to a year's time. So, but other people feel the same way, and other people have more free time than I do, so. Have I got a whiskey ready? Do you know what? I'll probably bring my... I've got an 18-year-old bottle of whiskey that my friend gave me. A very generous friend gave me like a £300 bottle of whiskey. So I think I'll have at least 1 or 2 drinks out of that. But I've got some beers. I've got some Brewdog. Got some local brewery. I'll get that in the fridge tomorrow, so... I was going to say, get yourself a beer for New Year and we'll be here. Hopefully it'll be a fun stream. I made so many mistakes trying to paint the damn second coat on these leg joints and armor joints. It's a bloody nightmare. I have to spend 20 minutes at the start of the next stream just tidying up all these damn mistakes. Guess that's the advantage of sub-assemblies, but yeah, I don't like sub-assemblies. I'm not good at it, so I just don't do it. So what, the next thing I should actually do is I should wash all these armor joints with like Nuln Oil, because I'll probably make some mistakes doing all that washing, and I can tidy up the washing and the base coat at the same time. That would be more efficient. So that's what I'll be doing in the next stream, I guess, starting by washing all these stupid armor joints. These little wires on their legs certainly make it difficult, don't they? What makes the Vindicator so good? I guess just because it's like average 6.5 shots at strength 14 minus 3, right? And remember, you can pay 1 CP to give it an extra point of AP and an extra point and ignore cover. And also it's got blast, and it can shoot at targets that are in melee range of it with its blast weaponry as well, so I always seem to roll hot on the Vindicators as well. It's like when I used to have Plasma Redemptors, I always used to roll like a 1 for the number of shots. And I would always be like, great, I got 1 shot from my Plasma Cannon this turn when I really needed like 5 or 6. Whereas like with my Vindicator tanks, I don't know what it is about them, I'm always rolling like 4, 5s or 6s for the number of shots. Well, it's D6 plus 3, so I'm usually averaging like 7 to 9, strength 14, minus 3, and like I said, there's a few strats in there you can pay to make the Vindicator more deadly, and it's also got toughness 11, which is a break point for like incoming fire, and it's got a 2-up save. So there's just, I think like the Vindicator was good at 210 points, and I think they dropped it from 210 to like 195. I thought it was good at 210. I was running 2 of them at 210. I would have kept running them at 210. I mean, if they want to drop them to 195, then yeah, sure, I'll run them at 195 as well. I don't have any problems with them at 210, honestly. Thought they were good and they gave value every game that they played in. And they're also reasonably durable, and they soak up a lot of fire because people don't like Demolisher cannons with that much potential damage output, so people want to kill them. So they soak a lot of damage for the rest of your army too. DTM says those answers are way too serious. Well, I mean, this is a serious stream, DTM. Come back on in 2 nights' time and it won't be a serious stream. we'll just say, why do you like Vindicators so much? Because they're fucking awesome. They look cool as well, right? But congrats on getting a second Lord of Change, DTM. You filthy heretic. I really enjoyed beating that demon army that had 2 Lords of Change in that tournament I was just at. I mean, I always like beating demons anyway, but... they're one of the best vehicles. Yeah, I mean, the only issue with Vindicators is, are they going to go the way of the dinosaur? Because they're firstborn tanks. I guess there's a very good chance of that, right? But they are one of the best vehicles, possibly the best. I'm really enjoying playing repulsors, though. I know not everybody's a fan of repulsors. I'm a big fan. I keep getting value out of them every game I use them in. Both the Executioner and the regular repulsor I think are good. Are Vanguard with a priest durable or just shit? I mean, they're more durable. I just don't know if I feel like they're good enough for the points cost you spend on them, right? Well, I mean, I'll tell you, I guess I don't think they're more... I don't think they're good enough for the points you spend on them because I'm not running them in my list. I'm running Death Company with a Chaplain because I think the Death Company will do more damage and I think they're probably just as survivable. And because their power fists are a lot better than the heirloom weapons Vanguard are stuck with. Because here's the thing, like, toughness 4 Marines die pretty fast. So what would you rather? You know, would you rather a bunch, like, you're probably going to get 1 round of combat. So would you rather your round of combat be with, like, power fists for the Death Company that get built-in full rerolls, and they get more EP than the heirloom weapons, and they got more strength as well, and they got 2 damage. So would you rather your 1 round of combat before you die is with power fists, or would you rather it's with Van Vet heirloom weapons? Because if people really want toughness 4 Marines dead, I feel like they can kill, like, there's a lot of things that still kill toughness 4 Marines almost like in an absurd rate. And this is why most of my list, like I said, the tournament list I went to, I had 10 toughness 4 Marines and then I had 18 Gravis Marines. So I almost have like 2 Gravis Marines for every toughness 4 Marine in my Blood Angels list. And I did really well at that tournament. I still have 2 videos to finish and upload from that event. But like that event, I was super close to top 3. Like literally single dice roll from top 3. And when I show you the final turn of the game that I didn't win, like I had the whole board dominated. I just needed 1 extra turn in that game. I was right there on the cusp. And I was playing on table 2 and it was the final game of the tournament. Well, right, come on in here, sweetheart. What's happening? Come here. Come here.
You know what I was dreaming about a Spookosaurus.
A Spookosaurus? You've not been to sleep yet, then, have you?
I think you should go to sleep now.
I think you should go to sleep now, yes? Okay. What do you think? Yeah? Okay, come on. Alright, the stream's gonna end pretty much once I get this to bed, I think. Let's see. Right, I'm gonna have to end the stream because the iPad apparently needs to be on for 1 more minute. Kids, man. They always push the boundaries, huh? Thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. It was nice. Felt pretty chilled. Yeah, so last thing, from about 10:30 on New Year's, get yourself a beer, get yourself a whiskey, come join us. You can chat hobby. Well, I mean, we'll just chat a lot of bullshit probably. Maybe we'll get some bagpipes.
I have awoken.
Get Wound Seal Quick Clot. I need it today. What do you mean, Marcus? Sorry. I'm not following. Thanks for hanging out, Frank. Thanks for hanging out, Jim. It's been good to see you guys all. I think after the New Year's stream, the next stream I'll do like one stream where we're actually playing a video game. I noticed that I haven't played Chaos Gate since the 5th of January last year. So it'll almost be like an annual stream. My playthrough of Chaos Gate is going very slowly, in that I haven't played since the 5th of January last year. But I do really enjoy that Chaos Gate game. So maybe I'll play it on like the 3rd of January for an hour. You guys can join, have a look at Chaos Gate. If you've not seen it before, it's a cool turn-based 40k game on Steam. I believe it's on sale right now as well. So I'll play that, I think. I've got just the Sky's joints left. Vermintide 2 is off, and do you know what? We played Darktide one time on the Grot, or well, maybe not one time, one or two times on the Grot's channel, and I believe since we've played it, they've updated Darktide multiple times. I think it's a lot better than it was when it launched. So I think we're going to try and play a game of Darktide. I think maybe they said the 4th over on the Grots. I think they said a date, but I'm terrible with dates. I saw that. Loads of people have been talking about the new Rogue Trader game, saying it's really good. Andrew from the Plastic Crackheads was like banging on at me. He was like, Rogue Trader is really good, John, you should play it. And I was like, man, I got so many games. I've got more games than I got time. And yeah, it's my own fault that I've got more games than time, or it's my own, like, I spend an insane amount of time working on YouTube. Like, I want to say I spend like 4 or 5 nights a week working on YouTube. But I love it, and I love the community that we've built. So it's like, that's what I want to spend my time on, I guess. And yeah, I do want to have my models painted, and guess sometimes like I get to paint them out with you guys like just now, but I know that I spend so much time on this that I don't play as many 40k games or as many games as I should, but oh well, it's fine. I've been wanting to play Cyberpunk since it came out, but I've just never been able to go like, I have 160 hours to play Cyberpunk. I figure if I ever retire from my day job, then I'll be able to play loads of games, right? Mark was saying that he completed Cyberpunk like twice. I was like, man. Mind you. I'm trying to decide if I need a second squad of heavy intercessors. That's the main thing that I think I'm going to try and decide in the next few months.
I have awoken.
Peter, thank you so much for becoming a member, dude. Welcome. Anyone that got a membership or has become a member, remember we do have a private members only Discord room. You can get there by looking at the link in the video description to join the Discord. Alright. 2 thin coats done on all the armor joints, thank God. Got some cleanup to do, but we're going to leave that for next time. Finally got a stream live. Peter, I'm literally logging off right now, but I'm going to be back 48 hours from now to do the New Year stream. So maybe you can join us for the New Year stream with a beer live. Hey Mark, I'm logging off in a sec, so I'll try and check your Discord message. Sure. Rogue Trader is very slow and it involves a lot of reading. I doubt it would make a good stream game. I don't really stream that many games, to be honest, though, Marius. Like I said, I literally think the last time I streamed Chaos Gate was the 5th of January this year, and I think I streamed Battle Sector like one time, like maybe like a month ago, just because one night I couldn't be bothered painting, so I streamed Battle Sector. But normally I interact more. I feel like I interact more with the chat if I'm painting as opposed to gaming, and then I feel like I get more views as well, probably because I interact more with the chat. And maybe I'm not that good a gamer anyway, so I usually end up just painting when I'm streaming. Very rarely do I game. But yeah, Brian said not to buy Rogue Trader because it's super buggy. The reviews that I saw on Steam made it sound like it was pretty good. Cyberpunk is now 9.5 out of 10. Is Battle Sector worth it? It's on sale and I'm tempted. I think it is. I mean, go and watch my like I streamed it like a month ago. Lace. If it's on sale, I would buy it if it's on sale. I probably put like 5 hours into it. I think it's a fine enough game. I think Chaos Gate's a really good game as well. I prefer Chaos Gate, but I think I just prefer XCOM style gameplay to the more grand strategy. But Battle Sector is the Blood Angels game. And yeah, I've got nothing negative to say about Battle Sector. It's got a lot of DLC. It's got a pretty interesting campaign. I mean, I'll stream it again at some point, but I do think Battle Sector is a good game. If I had more time, I would play more games on stream, but I just don't. Yeah, I think if you were a Blood Angels fan, you would enjoy Battle Sector. I think if you were an XCOM fan, you would enjoy Chaos Gate. And although I've been playing Chaos Gate, maybe Chaos Gate has slightly higher production value than Battle Sector's, in my opinion. Like maybe the graphics are a little bit better, maybe the cutscenes are maybe a little bit more animated. But Battle Sector is more like the grand strategy style. But I think Battle Sector is multiplayer. So if you want to play multiplayer, you can do that. You're going to join from Australia with the hangover. Cool. Well, you'll join with the hangover that I'm going to get while you join on the stream, Peter. But thanks so much for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Battle Sector is more like a turn-based Dawn of War. It's probably accurate. Alright guys, enjoy your evening. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in 48 hours, give or take, for the New Year stream. Have a great evening. Peace.